Welcome to another Rec Sports at Home video. My name's Andy, this is Brady, and we manage our personal training program here with Recreational Sports. And we've been asked by you to put together a couple nutritional videos. So one of the things that we actually focus on with our clients before we ever get into what we're eating or what we would encourage them to do is we ask them about why and how they're eating. And so today's video is going to be really kind of focused on that. You might think portion control. That could be one way of looking at it, but we want to really think about why we're eating, how we're eating, then we'll talk about food later on in our subsequent videos. So let's get going.
So when we start with the why of why we're eating the things we do, oftentimes people eat because they feel some sort of emotion. So that could be being bored or being confused or being sad or being really angry. Maybe there's hyper-rewarding foods that are just close to you in your proximity. So what we want to do in this video is really try to help you learn to eat with your stomach and rather than your eyes or any of those emotions we listed above. So are you actually hungry when you're eating, or are you bored or angry or scared or whatever that may be?
Why we're eating has so much tied into it, like Brady just said. It's crazy. But I would tell you that Dr. Brian Wonsink wrote a really great book called Mindless Eating. And the whole premise of it is that we eat with our eyes. So I'll ask you, as the user, and comment below, which one of these tomatoes looks bigger? So the portion control can largely be determined by our eyes. So if you think just automatically, just from looking at it really quickly, that this one looks bigger, it does look bigger. It's an optical illusion because it's on a smaller plate. But when you actually compare them side to side, this one is bigger. So what I would encourage you to do is start thinking about, okay, how can I control my environment a little bit better? Do I eat with a smaller spoon, or do I eat with a big ladle spoon like I do with my cereal sometimes? How can I focus on those things that will actually help me with my portion control? So one of the things that goes into why we eat is because our eyes tell us that we want more. So what I want you to consider doing is putting a little bit less on your plate. So we're going to talk about portion control sizes here in a second, but what I want you to start thinking about is what in my environment can I change about the bowls, about the plates, and about the glasses that I drink from. That might get us along our way to actually helping with portion control before we even have to make any changes.
So as Andy mentioned before, talking about portion control, a really easy way to think about portions, and I'm going to talk about this from a macronutrient standpoint, is using your hand as a great indicator of size of portions. So for example, if we're talking about a protein source, whether that be meat, fish, or something along that nature, think about the size of the palm of your hand. It's a really easy one to remember. When we're thinking about fruits and vegetables, think about a closed fist, so this being the portion size of those fruits and vegetables. When you're thinking about a starchy carbohydrate source being potatoes, rice, cereal, oatmeal, think of a cupped handful, so it's going to be a little smaller than that closed fist. And then when we think about healthy fats, think about the last one. That's just the size of your thumb. So the rule of thumb.
Yeah, those are really great tips on portion control. And I think one of the things that Precision Nutrition starts with their clients before anything else really is the premise of stopping at 80% full and eating slowly. Okay, so if you think eating slowly and then stopping at 80% full, what does that really look like? And so what we have encouraged with our clients is that eat slowly, so have each meal be at least 20 minutes long. So take 20 minutes to chew and process your food and enjoy that time together, either with another person or someone else. But I'm going to actually encourage you to eat mindfully too during that time by actually not being in front of a TV, not being on your phone. Actually focus on what you're doing. So that helps kind of with that mindful eating that Dr. Wonsink was encouraging us to talk about. So if you are to stop at 80% full, what does that look like? Well, the portions that Brady gave you just a second ago are going to be a great place to start. So if you have that on your plate, then you're going to have actually a pretty well-sized portion control for yourself. Now, what was really cool about what Brady showed you, that's not saying that you have a specific, that's not Brady's hand size, that's your hand size. So that portion control might actually help really well. But if you're in 20 minutes along and you're actually feeling that, you know what, I could stop eating now, then go ahead and stop. If you get done with that meal that's on your plate and you think, man, I am really hungry, how about you take about 10 to 15 minutes? If you're really hungry, still, go get some more. One of the things I was actually interested in that book that Brian Wansink wrote was that when you have the food in front of you, say you're eating a large meal with family, and the food is right in front of you. Or for me, one of the things that I know that happens to me is if I go to a restaurant, and let's say there are tortilla chips in front of me, then I know without a doubt that I'm going to eat a lot of those tortilla chips because they're right in front of me. And so I know that if I actually were to take those tortilla chips, put them at the end of the table, and only have a handful on my plate, I would probably not eat as much as I normally do. So he encourages us to actually take our food, the food source, and put it away from us, because it's very interesting to note that we are so lazy we won't actually get up to go get it. But if it's right in front of us, we'll eat it. And if you've ever been to a Mexican restaurant like I have, and those tortilla chips are there in front of you, you might have a lot of them. Then you have your meal, and afterwards everybody's just chatting, and what do? Grab a couple more chips because they're right in front of you. So remove those food sources, and that'll kind of actually help a little bit with that mindless eating. But to eat slowly, take 20 minutes, eat your meal, and then if you're hungry 15 minutes after that, go get more, feel free. That tells you that you're not actually fully satisfied yet.
Thanks for listening to Andy and I talk a little bit about nutrition today. Hopefully you take away something from this video. Quickly to summarize what we talked about, just remember the why and how you're eating. Keep in mind those portion sizes, those visual cues you see, whether that's the tortilla chips on the table or the size of your plate, and try to eat slowly and stop at 80% full if you can.
Yeah. And let us know what you would like to see next. So you can do it in a couple different ways. Number one, you can use the Ask the Trainer feature that we have on our page. Or number two, you can just comment at the below section of the comment section of this video. So let us know how we can better serve you with nutrition as well.